If you are an Aquarius, sun, moon, or rising, this is your reading for the month of March. It's eclipse season, it's Venus retrograde, it's Mercury retrograde, it's a lot of stuff, a lot of big changes this month. So let's get into your reading, Aquarius. Welcome to the Sacred Gray. My name is Astrid. I'm a psychic oracle and mentor, and I'm really happy to have you here. So far, like just right out the gate, March looks like a really good month for you. Okay, so I'll show you the cards we have here. We have Fig, which I think, I'm not even kidding, I'm pretty sure that's come out for every sign that I've done for the month of March. It is a constant. Gazebo, Talisman, and then Ostrich. So I'll tell you what those mean to me. I have a few other cards here. There is something really good that you probably inherited, whether or not you're aware of it. This could very well be a spiritual thing that you're being asked to celebrate. But with the ostrich there's this tension or aggression or kind of there's something very aggressive about it. There's something very pointed about it, and it could be something that you're going after. We're gonna get more insight in a minute here. The cards from Poesis that I have Connect, Blockage, Open. This was the first card that came out. Growth and Test. So your ability to like communicate and make connections, I think, is going to be one of your hardest like stumbling blocks this month. And I'm picking up on this energy of like apathy that almost feels as if maybe you are too good for certain people, situations, whatever that you find yourself in. So there's this kind of, and if I'm picking up on that energy, my immediate kind of reaction is, or my immediate thought, right? My immediate guidance is to say like, and I mean, I guess it's projected here in the cards as, open and connect. And with growth as well, it's like choosing a different disposition and coming from a place that is more grounded in understanding the people around you as worthy. There's almost something egoic coming off of this. That's like, you have something very special that you inherited, like spiritual or not. It was given to you, right? It's a gift. Okay. And you are kind of throwing it out there in one way or another. Like you're kind of casting your line is what I'm seeing. You're casting your line out and you're wanting to make connections because of this thing that you've received or this thing that you have discovered about yourself, right? If it's a spiritual thing, maybe you learned this about yourself and now you want to share it in a way that you haven't before. But it is, the aggression there is something that, with the ostrich, is something that I think is a reaction to this blockage and test, energy with connect. It's like you don't want to connect with the people around you. And it could be that there's the apathy or the ego. But I wonder what that's rooted in, right? I wonder what that is rooted in, Aquarius. I wonder if we peel that back a layer, like, is it that you truly feel like you don't identify with the people around you? Is it truly that you feel like you are better than a group of people or whatever, the case may be, however this applies? Or is it that you are maybe less than confident, so your ego is, attempting to create a protection around you, right? The ego just wants to keep us safe. So that should be coming up for you, I believe, in the month of March. Let's get into some timeline cards for you. It's the Devil, first one. 4 of Swords. 8 of Wands. The Magician. And the 2 of Pentacles. Okay. So we have some uncertainty here. In the month of March, I definitely see... It's like there's a climax right there in the middle with that 8 of Wands. There's a climax. The Devil at the front there, I almost want to get clarity on that, but I want to say that it is very clear to me here already that you are, and I can't help but notice the 7 of Swords at the bottom of the deck here. You are someone who maybe has made a decision that you're not entirely certain of. So there's a moment here kind of going into the month of March where you are offered an opportunity, or you end up having to take an opportunity to maybe consider. I'm hearing for some of you, your identity. That open card is I'm noticing like that there's an opportunity for you. Spirit is asking you to kind of like anchor into a question of like, who am I? And who do I, and like, you know, on the same hand, like who do I want to be seen as, right? And I see this kind of being potentially a pretty big question for you. Let me get one clarifier card, please, for the devil. One card clarification for the devil. The Two of Cups. It could be that there's someone around you that wants to hold you back, or is projecting upon you. Someone that is possibly close in proximity, but definitely close emotionally, right? And I do feel that this is why you have to kind of like sink into that Four of Swords, that restful place, that energy of like reflection and who am I? The Eight of Wands, the Magician, and the Two of Pentacles kind of going through the month. We see this culmination of like understanding that there's more to, I'm hearing there's more to the story, understanding that there's more power in you than maybe you have granted yourself in the past. And so at the end there with this Two of Pentacles, it's like, what am I creating with that, right? Like, who am I separate from my, I'm hearing the word paradox, so it might be really confusing for you. It's who am I separate from what I've known up until this point? Who am I? This really does. I mean, yeah. Well, okay. So Pluto is in your sign. So yeah. I mean, shit. Yeah, yeah. You know, depending on your Aquarius placement, and you know what planets or asteroids, celestial bodies you have in the sign of Aquarius, like this is going to impact you pretty immensely, right? So there's definitely a question of like, what am I? Full body chills. What am I doing here? Kind of, you know. And what am I bringing to the table? And I'm hearing what is the attitude outfit? That's what Spirit is giving me. What attitude am I wearing, right? What is my outfit? How am I presenting myself? And this speaks to like your decorum. This speaks to your body language. This speaks to like literally what you're wearing and how you're decorating yourself. But it's like there's this kind of this identity, not identity crisis, but there's this moment of like, okay, like we are reevaluating some things that feel very, very rooted in the self. And that's, I think, the blockage in how you connect to the people around you. So you're definitely in a place where you're kind of forced to grow. You're kind of forced to experience various growing pains and various kind of like tasks around your shadow is something that I'm hearing too, but like the way that you show up and truly what you see and what you give to the world, right? Truly what you see of yourself and what you give to the world. Let's get some cards for the blessings of the month. What blessings are coming in for Aquarius this month? Eclipse season, so many things. So we've got the Hermit, the King of Swords in reverse, and we've got the Wheel of Fortune. So it's kind of like an escape from a very rigid, I'm hearing a very rigid upbringing, or a very rigid outcome is another thing that I'm hearing. There's something about, and I want to get two more cards. I've got Ace of Wands at the bottom of the deck. We will take that. There's something about kind of escaping a mold, right? Two more cards, please. Ace of Swords, Ace of Wands, and Ace of Swords in the blessings. So there's opportunity. There's raw opportunity, you know, and this is a question of, okay, and then we have the Four of Cups with the Sun at the bottom. So it's like, okay, are you going to take it, or are you going to be, and I'm getting that word apathy again, right? Are you going to take it, or are you going to let it pass you by? That's really the question here, because I see for you this very strong opportunity, like really strong opportunity here, Aquarius, to really like spin that wheel and see where it directs you, right? What is your new compass? Okay, potentially. Where are you going with what opportunities are presented to you? But then with the Four of Cups, Four of Cups is interesting because it's kind of a luxury to say no. You know, it's kind of a luxury to be able to say, to be able to refuse, right? And so with the Four of Swords there in your timeline, it's like you do have that space in your life to say no. You do have the space in your life to kind of deny something that someone, you know, full body chills, something that someone might be offering to you in terms of what you could or should, or maybe what they think, you know, just their projections on how you should be operating in your life. That's a luxury, excuse me. And speaking to like that escaping the mold, it's like you, I think, are actively, my ears are ringing really nicely right now. I think that you're actively, you know, making decisions that are in favor of the breaking of that mold, right? I'm hearing something doesn't make sense to you anymore. And it could be that it never made sense to you. It could be that you never identified with it. And so this month of March, this eclipse season, these major transits and shifts that we have happening in the collective cosmically, your opportunity is to embody that in your 3D, in your lived day-to-day reality, right? And see how those ripples, you know, turn into waves over the course of your life, right? Over the course of like the next 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, right? This is a really pivotal moment for you, Aquarius. So let's get a hexagram for you for the month of March. Okay, we have hexagram 17. Let me get the guidebook here. Hexagram 17, what's she got for us? Hexagram number 17, following, above lake, below thunder. Thunder in the middle of the lake, action suspended. People who are coerced into cooperation will ultimately resist. To obtain enthusiastic followers, one must adapt to the prevailing needs of the time. Act thoughtfully and in the proper context. Success is likely if one's actions are worthy, but a following should not be expected until those conditions are met. Okay, so this is very much, yeah. You know, there's resistance for sure. You know, there's resistance to kind of, I think that Aquarius, you know, you generally speaking, you do have an interest in breaking the mold. But this can create a confusion around who you are supposed to be. You know, who am I? What am I bringing to the table? Like nothing really makes sense. So how do I fix it? You know, maybe you experience like a people pleasing kind of tendency or energy around you that like you want to bring forth, and maybe you find that it just doesn't ever really get you anywhere, right? That could be possible for you, Aquarius. But here it's like, this is kind of rooted in authenticity, right? So like not only is there a bar that you have to meet, that you have to kind of figure out where that bar is, but you have to authentically get there, right? Because anything that's rooted in something other than the self, anything that like is not authentic, that you didn't make for yourself, those things are what falter, right? So this message is very much about like, you know, in approaching this next chapter, right? In stepping forth, in sharing this inheritance, right? You can do so with that ostrich energy, right? But that aggression is very much so a coping mechanism. And so is any confusion or dismay is a word that I'm hearing around these topics, right? Any uncertainty around the self. If you become confused about yourself or like what you're offering or what you want, I would encourage you to think about those things as, you know, or maybe question if they are acting as a coping mechanism, right? If they're keeping you safe, right? So that you can expand, so that you can grow, right? This is a test, I'm also hearing very much so, of character, right? Okay, so the next card at this point in the reading, or the next cards at this point in the reading, we're pulling for what you don't see coming. What does Aquarius not see coming? What is the unseen challenge of eclipse season, March? What do they not see coming? Okay, so two of Wands, the Star. We've got the Five of Swords in reverse. That's not much of a challenge. Well, I mean, the challenge could be that like renewal and following that star. Let's see. Are you pouring from an empty cup? Aquarius is what I'm curious about. I've got the Queen of Wands, or excuse me, the Queen of Pentacles, and then I had the Nine of Pentacles kind of come out in its transverse here, and then we also have the Knight of Swords, which is matching that that ostrich, right? So the challenge, the unseen challenge, is this realization that maybe you are a little bit less than equipped in one situation in your life, maybe than you would like to be. You know, it's kind of like you're following that star. You're following that path, you're following that pie in the sky potentially, right? I'm hearing you thought you spun the wheel of fortune, right? Like you thought you did something, and then maybe it's like, oh, like, like I gotta, all of a sudden, for some reason, it's like you are moving from a very rushed place, and you're just kind of, yeah, I mean, I feel like your ego is going to get really active this month. You know, I feel like there's going to be some protections that like are coming forth that Spirit is asking you to really kind of anchor into, like, the fact that they are protections and that you are safe, so you don't need to protect yourself in this way, right? Like I'm hearing they're looking out for you, right? I'm hearing like they got you kind of a thing. So there's very strongly an energy of like needing trust and that confidence again, and also very much so needing a level of self-awareness, right? This is a message for someone who, you know, is finding themselves in kind of, I'm hearing a world of new, right? So you might have made some pretty dramatic or drastic changes. There's a world of new. And so I think that in any situation for anyone, like that world of new would definitely bring up blockages, would definitely bring up like some tension, some intensity, right? And so how do you temper that? You know, you have to iron out that time for that Four of Swords. You have to iron out that time for that Four of Cups. You have to be decisive in your action taking towards your own, like, I guess, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like embodiment of authenticity, but it's more so like kind of figuring out what that means for you. What is authentic for Aquarius, right? What is true for Aquarius? What is joyful? What is heart led for Aquarius, right? What is soul led for Aquarius? Let's get some poesis here to round out this message and get you some advice. Wisdom, create. Yeah, creating wisdom, that's through experience, right? So it seems to me here that Aquarius, that you have made some decisions that would have been pretty big. Yeah, so like unknown at the bottom of the deck. Like I feel like there were some pretty big decisions that you made recently that are leading you into this place. Heal and choice. We've got leap, wisdom, create. I think that you've made some very big decisions recently, right? I think that you really took a leap, right? And so unknown, heal, choice, it's like, you know, maybe you leapt into the unknown, right? However, you know, whatever action you took, there is very much so a message here for you around your follow through, but it has to be from you, right? I'm hearing you did not do this for nothing. Like I didn't do this for nothing, right? I made this, I'm going to anchor it into it. I'm going to like throw my ass behind it. I'm going to do the thing, right? But then, you know, wisdom and create, heal and choice. It's like, accept what you've created for yourself, accept the decisions that you've made, love yourself through that, right? Because I'm hearing some of you might be facing criticism in different areas of your life, like kind of or you might be hypersensitive or hyper aware of various criticisms that you're experiencing. And so create, wisdom, leap. It's like you have to actively seek these things out, right? So if you are finding in the month of March that there's like kind of an issue of identity that arises, you are seeking out, like you are being tasked to seek out that wisdom, to find that wisdom, which could come in the form of, you know, seeking out a mentor or seeking out a course to study or seeking out, even just like seeking out time to journal to figure out what it is that you do desire, right? What it is that will help you fully understand yourself so that you can bring more to the table, so that you can bring something more authentic, more true, more loving, more more soul-based, more heart-based, that inherently will have staying power if it's coming from that place, right? So, but the thing about that is that you also understand that all of those things are kind of being reconstructed. So this is an opportunity to really get creative with and really like temper yourself, really get creative with like how you talk to yourself and how you spend your time alone, right? Like creating a sense of awareness around how you're spending time alone. It's important that we are intentional about the time that we spend alone in the month of March. Like we can't just like be alone in an introspective state and just be wasting that time like kind of sleeping or just kind of not really thinking. Like what are you creating during this time? What changes are you making? Because there's so much opportunity for change in the month of March. I mean, like inevitably it's going to happen, but where are you going to direct it? Where are you going to direct that change? Because things are not going to be entirely clear in the month of March. There's not a whole lot of visibility in the month of March, right? So you have to be mindful, decisive, intentional with any time that you have that is, quiet or in solitude, because that is the time to create. That is the time to anchor into the vision, the craft, right? The craft. That's a word for some of you guys like that. I want you to put a pin in that word, craft. What does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? What is your craft, right? How is it yours? What makes it yours, right? And accept the fact that it might change, right? It might change. And that's okay. That's normal. That's good, right? Let's get some advice for you, some guidance. Or some more advice, some more. Whoa, okay, 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords and its transverse. Hang on. I'm hearing don't get hung up on the details. I've got 10 of Swords, Death, 3 of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, Strength at the bottom. So very much so, like, oh man, like you I think that it's totally okay for you to want to, or it's normal to kind of cling to what's safe when we experience death in one way or another, right? It is human nature to keep ourselves safe when this card rears its head. That's just the way that is. So when this card comes out and you find yourself kind of like clinging to comfort or familiarity, I want you to like maybe try to loosen up a little bit, right? Like, cause like you have the 3 of Wands here kind of reminding you that like you actually do have everything that you need, right? You are well equipped in the face of a rebirth. So this is an exciting thing, right? Like what's coming next? This is creative energy. What's coming next, right? This is transformative. This is scorpionic. This is transmutation. It's alchemical, right? What's coming next? And you get to decide that. I'm hearing this very strong message from, I believe, someone's ancestor. It is definitely an ancestor. So somebody is saying, like, do not let them decide for you. Do not let them put you in a box of. Do not let them put you in a box. Like, kind of essentially, like make your own box, right? Make your own box and then create it and move it around and adjust it and change what's inside of it. Like, make it yours, So Aquarius, like, you have a lot, and I'm hearing like a round of applause now. Like, you have a lot of opportunity in the month of March to anchor into that creative energy. What is next? What is next? And are you proud? And if the answer is no, how can you become proud? How can you create that for yourself? And if the answer is no, that's okay, right? If the answer is no, then you have the opportunity to start polishing that silver, right? This month is fraught with opportunity. I mean, it is literally like, this is a month of opportunity for you. Now, your intention and how you use that opportunity, totally up to you, babe, right? And that's kind of that's the point. It is up to you, right? Do you have trust in your ability? Do you have confidence in yourself to know that what you create is coming from a place that like is not only true to yourself, but the fact that it is true to yourself, it means that it will have staying power, right? Do you have the confidence to go forth and accept with gratitude that things will change and that you might change your mind? Because we're humans and we grow. And are you okay with that? Or does that make you kind of scared? Does that make you kind of recoil and pull back? Right? I'm hearing you've been through a lot. I'm hearing that it's been a long road, and it's a good time to practice a level of confidence that maybe you're not super in touch with. It's kind of like a good time to like act like it, act as if, right? How do you do that? What are you becoming, right? You have to have a vision first. Okay. So that vision, again, it only comes in solitude. So give yourself that time because you deserve it, very much so. Get quiet, anchor in, connect with your higher power, do some guided meditation if you want to. Like, don't waste your time in solitude. Do not waste your time in solitude. Don't. Lock in. Okay, Aquarius? I love you so much. If you have not subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. Please drop a like, drop a comment, share the video. These are all free ways to support a growing channel. If you want to become a financial contributor to my mission here, there are links in the description box. I didn't mention, but I am working to get an overhead camera, just another camera body, so that you can actually see what's going on in front of me, because I think it's really neat and I would love for you to see it. So that is something that I am working towards. If you would like to chip in, there are links in the description box. Also, this is a free offering. Tips are very much appreciated, but never, ever, ever required, right? I just love you guys so much, and I'm just happy you're here. Thank you so much. And please email me if you ever need anything, okay? Take care of yourselves.